Bob and Larry are still caring about the kids and wanting to teach the kids those valuable life lessons. Except this time, Mr. Nezer's old theater is a bit run down and is looking to be filled with some talent and great shows. So Mr. Nezer reaches out to Bob and Larry and says, "Hey, I want you to come do shows in my theater." So rather than the kitchen sink, where we start is Bob and Larry on backstage of Mr. Nezer's theater. And that becomes the place where Bob and Larry encounter, one, what's the problem from the letter from the child? But secondly, backstage sometimes presents a few problems. And it's those problems among what it takes to put on a show that parallel what's in the letter, and then that later gets enacted on the stage. So you can see it's basically the same kind of principles, just a little bit different, environment.
Well, joining us from Big Idea and Veggie Tales, Leslie Ferrell here at NRB 2020. And so we're talking about this new 26 new episodes that are set to come out within the next, you said 3 years?
We'll roll them out over the next 3 years. So as I say, the first one, The Best Christmas Gift, came out October 10th, 2019. We're scheduled to release first on TBN's SVOD channel, Yippee TV. The first new episode will come out in March, and then subsequently they'll begin to roll out almost every month. And then in September, we'll have the episodes releasing wider than the SVOD channel. And that's kind of how the cadence will be, year over year. It might be a little dynamic on the cadence, but the fans can be expecting that they'll be able to see 6 to 8 new episodes every year.
And then at some point, I would imagine there's some home video distribution that will be made available.
Absolutely. That will come, after they've been on Yippee. They'll be on DVD, digital, and streaming. So all the ways that, our fans are consuming content now will be available.
So you mentioned, and there was an acronym, is it SVOD?
SVOD.
That's got to be what, like streaming video on demand, something like that?
Streaming video on demand. So those are your, Yippee TV is an SVOD channel. That's your Netflix, your Amazon, your streaming channels that are, the ways that so many folks are getting their content.
And this would be TBN's streaming channel.
Yes, which launched in December 2019.
So let's talk about content. You've got all these episodes that are rolling out. What are some things that people can expect, especially with respect to the biblical or the Christian content and the new round of Veggie Tales episodes?
That's a great question. The first 9 episodes are built around the fruits of the Spirit. So each one incorporates each of one of the traits of the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience. We've always wanted to do a series that was built around the fruits of the Spirit, and this just seemed the time to do it. So we're very excited. We branch into some additional Old Testament stories that have been begging to be told. We also have 2 Larry Boys that are very, very popular within the franchise, so we could not leave Larry Boy behind. And so that will be not the retelling of a biblical story, but it will have a biblical lesson in Larry Boy's adventure and solve. So I think the fans are really looking forward to that.
When was the first Veggie Tales episode? I know it was, early to mid-90s, right?
1993, Where's God When I'm Scared? And the famous song, and one that we all love, God is Bigger Than the Boogeyman. And
absolutely.
It's just as relevant today as it was in 1993. I watch that show and I'm just reminded, and I watch kids watch it, that the premise that there are sometimes scary things, and the reminder that God is bigger than any and every scary thing that we might think or feel.